How's it digging, my shovels? This is Bait here, and today I got an underused tier match for you guys against Sucker4 Jessica, a fellow YouTuber and the guy who knows what you're doing right now. But anyways, finally we found some time to have a battle. I've been meaning to battle him for quite some time now, but you know, time zones and everything, blah blah blah. But I used to watch this guy a lot back in the day when I started. He's been around in the YouTube community for longer than I have. So it was definitely a pleasure, and I still do occasionally watch him. But anyways, let's go into this match, into the team preview. First, looking into his team, I definitely thought that he would try to lead with his potentially choice scarfed Flygon, so I just decided to go with my Gligar and to counter that, and then to just set up my Stealth Rocks as fast as I can, because I noticed that he has Tornadus and Zapdos weak to rocks, and also no Spinner, and yeah, even if he leads with the Cobalion to try to set up rocks, and he could potentially have HPIs, but I could still take one, unless he's like randomly Specs or something. But anyways, for the other things on his team, that Cobalion, I can deal with it just fine. It just kind of depends on what kind of set he is, but the combination of Gligar, Blastoise, and Zapdos should deal with it just fine. And then the Tornadus, I got specially defensive Zapdos, and even if he's physical, I can definitely take on a bulk up set with Zapdos easily. And then his Slowbro, Zapdos can deal with that too, and also Snorlax can phase it out if he's like a Calm Mindset or anything like that. And also I got Heracross to Mega Hornet to Oblivion, and then he also has his own Zapdos, which my Zapdos actually deals with just fine because it's a specially defensive one. And then I also got Nidoking with Ice Beam and Heracross with Stone Edge if I just manage to whittle it down, especially with some Stealth Rock damage, so I can definitely take it out. Shouldn't be too big of a problem. And then he also has a Porygon 2, and if I want to take an offensive approach, I can definitely deal with it with my Heracross's close combat, and then also I guess Zapdos can deal with it just fine, take an Ice Beam, Toxic, and Roostall and that kind of stuff. But anyways, without further ado, let's dive right into this match. So he indeed does lead off with the Flygon, so that's definitely the best lead matchup I could ever ask for, because I do get off my Stealth Rocks for free. He's only able to get a minuscule amount of damage to me with the Flygon's U-turn. And then he's just gonna send out his Slowbro, and I do not want to stay in and take a Scald or Ice Beam or whatever the Slowbros usually carry, mostly just Scald. So whatever, I'm just gonna go into my specially defensive wall. Snorlax, because I guess I could have gone into Zapdos, but I figure Snorlax would be safer at this point of the match, because if he gets like a Scald Burn, I can just rest it off later on and just go from there. But anyways, now I'm just gonna go for the Whirlwind, just kind of scout what is going to be his initial first switch into my Snorlax. And he just goes into his Cobalion, and that's definitely a good thing, especially because I drag out his Tornadus, so I already get 25% of his health cut with the Stealth Rocks. And now I just decided to go for the Body Slam, just kind of expecting, like, if he does carry the Taunt and wants to just go for that, predicting me to go for the Whirlwind again, but he does just switch into his Porygon 2, and I guess just kind of a middleman switching, because he doesn't necessarily want to get anything else paralyzed or anything. But whatever, I just drag him out again with the Whirlwind, and in comes the Slowbro. He doesn't get a para or anything with the Discharge. But anyways, at this point I should have noticed that the Slowbro didn't have Leftovers recovery. So that should have been a sign to me that he's most likely Specs and is going to trick me. But I didn't notice that, and it kind of sucks right now, and he is able to make a good play and cripple my Snorlax. But to be honest, I really don't have anything that really wants to take a choice Specs, because Nidoking likes to switch moves, and then Zapdos is a defensive Zapdos, so yeah, something was kind of bound to get crippled anyways. But yeah, it is Snorlax now, and he brings out the Zapdos now. Or did I just Whirlwind him into that? But yeah, he has the freaking Roar, so he's able to drag me out into my Gligar, and then I'm gonna scout whether he has like HPIs or the Heat Wave or whatever for his extra coverage moves. So I go back into Snorlax. It does turn out that he apparently does not have the Hidden Power Ice, as he goes for the Heat Wave. And I decided to just go into Snorlax because I can still sponge a hit even though I'm kind of useless and locked into... I'm forced to lock myself into one move, which is, in this case, is the Body Slam. But he goes into his Porygon 2. I know at this point he's going to go for the Recover because it's the safest move he can do. So I'm going to go into my Heracross, get that safe switch in, and then just go for the Close Combat. And I was pretty sure, yeah, this is just going to take out the Porygon 2. But he freaking lives. So, yeah... Jolly Heracross, I guess, still lacks the power to one-shot a Porygon 2. That was really impressive. And then, on top of that, he gets a crits on my Heracross, but luckily enough, doesn't get the Parahax. That would have actually been worse, because my Heracross would have been crippled, because it is indeed Choice Scarf. But it does bring him down to a range where Stealthrox will take care of him whenever he switches in. So that's at least basically one Pokemon taken care of, and he doesn't have a spinner, so yeah, Porygon 2 is basically dead at this point. But he does go into his Zapdos, resisting the Close Combat. He knows he can at least use the Porygon for a Death Fodder later on, and he can easily just roost off the damage. And at this point of the match, since my Snorlax is crippled with the Choice Specs with the Trick, I decided to go into my Zapdos. Also, well, at this point I know that he doesn't have Toxic, because he already showed the Roost and the Roar and the Heat Wave. And yeah, now he showed the T-Bolt. He obviously has a stab move in form of T-Bolt, so I was pretty safe to just go into my specially defensive Zapdos, take a hit from him, and just Toxic, and his T-Bolt really does like nothing. And I'm just gonna go for my own T-Bolt just to, you know, whittle him down little by little. And my T-Bolt actually still does a nice chunk even though I'm defensive. And he's gonna roar me out again, but this time I get dragged into my Blastoise, which is definitely a bad matchup. But what I decided to do here, he's either going to T-Bolt the Blastoise or then just go for the Thunderbolt to try hit my Blastoise. So I figured I could pretty safely go into my Nidoking, and the Toxic is already racking up really badly on the Zapdos, so I could just take him out with the Ice Beam, most likely on the next turn. But he does go into his Cobalion, and he doesn't want to stay in because he knows he can't one-shot me with anything. So what he decides to do is go into his Porygon 2 and use that as a Death Fodder right now. But now in comes the Tornadus. And I'm just going to go into Snorlax kind of as a pivot switch to see what kind of set he's running here. And it does turn out that he is physical with the Acrobatics, so he most likely has like either Support on and then Bulk Up and Acrobatics and Brick Break for the coverage. So that just basically means that indeed my Zapdos completely walls him, and I just decided to switch it in directly. I was kind of thinking he might just want to take out my Snorlax, but he actually does go for the sub, but still that is really not an issue. And now I still have my Snorlax for an useful Death Fodder later on. But yeah, as you can see, the Acrobatics really does like nothing, and against the Zapdos he really doesn't have time to be setting up here, because yeah, otherwise he would only be able to get off one hit on me as opposed to 2 Acrobatics. And at this point I really should have just gone for the Roost and then taken him out, but I guess I just really wanted to take out the Tornadus before he does anything weird or wants to get greedy or anything. So I just decided to go for the Thunderbolt, take him straight out, but that leaves me in a bit of a scary situation because he goes into his Cobalion, and I'm afraid of the potential Stone Edge that he may carry. So what I decided to do is go into my Gligar, but he does just go for the Stealthrox, and then he reveals that he does indeed have the Hidden Power Ice. So that was the worst scenario for my Gligar right here, and he was also able to set up those rocks. So potentially I could have just stayed in with my Zapdos and just roost off, but he didn't reveal his set, so it just kind of caught me off guard right here. But yeah, I just went for the U-turn, just kind of expecting him to go into Slowbro, but it still works out, because now that I know, you know, he has Hidden Power, I can still take one with my Nidoking, because it has full health. So I'm just gonna, you know, go into Nidoking, go for the Earth Power, take one hit, and take out the Cobalion in the process, and down it goes with the Earth Power. And at this point, yeah, he goes into his Zapdos. I guess Kashyyyf had a bit of a "what you doing" moment right here. I think he said to me that he was thinking I was Scarf, but obviously I would have outsped his Cobalion if I was. So I basically get a free kill on his Zapdos. Not that it was too big of a problem to begin with, because it was already toxic and all that stuff. But yeah, I just go for the Ice Beam, take him out. But now in comes the Slowbro. I don't carry the T-Bolt, and I'm pretty sure I can take him out anyway. So what I just decided to do is sack my Gligar at this point, and then just bring in something freely. As he actually switches into his Flygon, and this just worked out because I still have Blastoise at almost full health after the Stealth which I am going to spin away right now, because then against this Slowbro that is going to come in right now, I can go for the I can switch in my Zapdos safely, because without taking 25% of my health with the Stealth Rocks, I can definitely live one Scald, because my Zapdos is specially defensive, and then I can just boost off and basically just go from there. I guess at this point I could have gone for the Toxic also with my Blastoise, but I did kind of want to preserve my Blastoise for the Flygon and have it as high as health as possible, because I'm pretty sure I'll need to take an Outrage from that thing later on. And yeah, he does go for the Scald, and definitely would have taken me out if I wasn't able to spin away the Stealth Rocks. So that works out perfectly, and he doesn't even get the Scald burn yet, which is nice. So Zapdos gets a bit of a more survivability in the long run, but on the next one he does score a burn. But I'm still at pretty good health. I'm at the point where I can still take one Scald and also take the burn damage and live and then roost off. So what I decided to do here is just go for the Toxic, because whether he stays in or just switches into his Flygon, I'll just get either of his pokes, you know, Toxic at this point. So that was my plan, and it does kind of work out. He does go into his Flygon though, so not the best thing to Toxic, but still, damage is damage. And at this point, he's either going to go for the Stone Edge or just lock himself straight into the Outrage. So what I decided to do is go into my Snorlax as Death Fodder and scout what is he going to do, and he does go for the Outrage. And this basically seals the game for me, because now that he's locked into that Outrage, I can safely go into my Blastoise. He cannot switch out, and I do have the Ice Beam, so I can definitely just take one hit from him and just go for the Ice Beam, and then that only leaves his Slowbro, which is going to be indeed his last Pokemon. And Blastoise can still take a couple hits, and I do bank the Toxic, and I can basically just go from there. And I think I sped this part up because it's kind of just a bit of a stall here at the end, because yeah, he does have the Psyshock. It does actually 2-hit KO me, because he's running Specs with most likely like Modest Nature and max special attack, so he is able to 2-hit KO me, but I do still manage to stall him out for a couple turns, and then I can just bring out my Zapdos safely, go for the Thunderbolt, and that is pretty much going to be the game. And so the Slowbro is taken care of while I'm slowly stalling out of time till the battle actually ends. There we go. So thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely had a lot of fun with this one. It was a pleasure to finally get a chance to battle Kashif, Sucker for Jessica. I think we battled like a long time ago, but like it DC'd and then we never did a rematch. It's always the thing when you got the time zones and you don't have good time. But now I was on my autumn break, so it was definitely an awesome thing to finally get a chance to battle Kashif. And hope you guys enjoyed this match as well. But I think that's gonna be. I really have nothing special to ramble about right now. But hope you guys enjoyed the Pokemon Black and White 2 Abridged thing that I posted yesterday. I'm just pre-recording this because I'm gonna be busy during the weekend, but this should be going up like sometime Sunday. But you already knew that because you just watched the battle, so there we go. But indeed, that will be all for today. So thank you for watching once again. If you enjoyed, leave a like rating, and until next time, this is the Flaming Spade signing out. Peace.